Listen, this is a very impressive set of revenue numbers that IBM's putting out, right to your point. 6-7% top line growth. There's a little bit of Kyndryl in there, but even without that, consulting grew double digits. Software is growing 5-6%. The challenge with IBM, at least in my head, has always been it always seems one step forward, one step back, and the lack of consistency, if you may. So certainly, if the guide can live up to the expectations of what this December quarter numbers are looking like, this becomes a very interesting asset for investors to own in this tape or any tape, really, as you go through 2022.
So tell us what you are looking for on that guide, which I guess will come out during the earnings call, and the other key things you're waiting for on the call.
Yeah, I'll say the two things that I would really focus on. One is what's enabling this mid-single-digit growth, because I think Arvind talks about that in the press release for 2022. How much of that is driven by Kyndryl versus organic tailwinds, because there's a resale business that's happening there. So how much of it is organic? That would be really crucial to understand between consulting and software. The second part is, what does a profit or EPS roadmap look like for next year? And the fear I think I would have is there a lot of stranded costs you potentially have with the Kyndryl spin that you need to restructure out? So I might have a good EPS number, but it might be very back half heavy potentially. So those two things, I think, is what I would focus on, what I'm sure others would focus on into the earnings call in a bit over here.
Well, they are going to say that they see mid-single-digit growth continuing for 2022. That's the guidance. My other thought here, Amit, is the market. We know what's been happening with overall the market and tech stocks and software stocks. I don't see any evidence yet, especially from IBM with this report, that IT spending is slowing down or the fundamentals of the businesses are changing or that CEOs are pulling back on technological investments. Could that make for some interesting opportunities this earnings season?
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, I almost think what you see with IBM is the opposite of this, right? Which is, look at the consulting growth of 13%. That almost says this whole digital transformation journey that's happening post-COVID, post-pandemic, is accelerating, not decelerating. So this almost validates IT spend is going to get stronger for enterprise companies in 2022 versus not. The one thing I want to go back to is the mid-single-digit growth guide for 2022 that Deb talked about. What you want to understand is how much of that is driven by the Kyndryl resale relationship, which might be 2-3 points. And so if that's the case, maybe you dial back the growth expectations a bit. But I think broadly, this is a good validation that enterprise spends gets better in 2022 versus worse.
Amit, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.